In terms of future research, I think the first thing I'll say is that while people feel like we've researched Latinos a lot, we're just beginning to scratch the surface. And as I said in the beginning, if we continue to use these kind of global measures of Hispanic, Latino, or even the global measures of groups, we're not going to get very far in really understanding the dynamics. Each of the groups has such a different history, both of migration, different history of the U.S.'s relationship with their country, that these processes are very different for each group. So in terms of the future, and I'm thinking both about the data, but also about my everyday experience here in New Brunswick, where we have a very large Mexican immigrant community, as well as smaller groups of Dominicans and Hondurans, that I think really understanding the diverse experiences of the groups. What are communities doing to make the groups either feel welcome or unwelcome? And how does that translate into things like children's performance in schools? Clearly, health is a big interest of mine, but it's going to be a huge issue as we go forward with healthcare reform because undocumented immigrants are left out of the healthcare reform. And so what does that mean for how their health is going to progress in the future, what their access to healthcare services is going to be, how healthcare systems are going to adjust and adapt to them. I think we need to look at the success stories as well. As I said, large numbers of Latinos, though it really is splits across the group, there are significant numbers who have high levels of education, postgraduate education, high incomes. How did they make the transition? What were the supports within their own families, but also in the communities? And also, again, coming back to how did the U.S. government treat them as new arrivals, and how does that influence the outcomes? And I think we also need to look at the changing dynamic of the second and third generation as we get Latinos who are a diverse mix of groups, who aren't living in traditional enclaves, who are moving out of enclaves. What's happening to them? How are they integrating into new communities? What will the future be like for the children of immigrants in terms of education, healthcare, employment, marriage, and those kinds of things? So I think that's the future agenda, and to always be attentive to the diversity among the groups and to be sure that the research designs that we use build on and take advantage of that diversity, both to accurately reflect who the Latino community is, but also to understand how these diverse variables differently predict success or problems for different groups of Latinos.